All right. Today we're going to go ahead and get into two-step equations. All right, so before this section we were looking at one-step equations, so we either added or subtracted the number away from the x, or we multiplied or divided the number away from the x. All right, so remember our goal is to get the variable or the letter by itself. Okay, so we're going to move everything away first. So this time it's going to take us more than one step, but we want to get it into the format that we were doing before, where we have one step left to do. All right, so let's start to look at some examples. All right, I notice I have 2x plus 3 equals 11. I have 2x plus 3, so my goal is to try to free up this x. All right, there's a 3 next to it, so I need to move the 3 first so that I can get that 2x by itself. To move that 3, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides of the equal sign. All right, remember sometimes kids like to draw that line down. That's up to you. All right, if you want to draw that line down to separate, so you know to do left and right, go ahead. All right, I'm left with 2x equals 11 minus 3 is 8. All right, we now have it into the format that we can go ahead and divide by 2. It's now a one-step equation. If I divide by 2, it tells me that x equals 4. So again, we move the 3 first, and then we come back and divide by 2. All right, let's do letter B. I have negative y minus 6 equals 3. All right, again, I see a minus 6 next to my y, so I'm going to move that 6 first by doing positive 6 to both sides of the equal sign. Now, notice I have a negative y, but technically there's a 1 in front of that, so I'm going to write it as negative 1y equals 9. Now, remember, when they're connected like that, that means multiplication, so the opposite of multiply is to divide both sides by negative 1. Remember, a positive divided by a negative will turn out to be a negative number. Now, if I was doing this on a quiz or a test, I could always take my answer and plug it back in. All right, if I were to plug it back in, that would be negative 9, and then we'd have minus 6, well, equals 3. Well, negative 9 turns into 9 minus 6 equals 3, so it checks. All right, so you can always check your answer. On a quiz or a test, I strongly encourage it. All right, let's go to letter C, not number C. I have x divided by 3 minus 7 equals negative 2. So I need to get that 7 out of there first so that I try to get that x by itself. If I add 7 to both sides, I'm left with x over 3 equals 5. Notice we've copied it exactly how it looks. Now, remember when the 3 is on the bottom, it's technically a division, so opposite of division is to multiply. 3's cancel on this side, so x equals 5 times 3 tells us 15. All right, there's our first couple solving two-step equations. Let's look at some more. We'll give you some time to try these real quick, and then we'll go through those together as a class. Now, let's go ahead and look at these. These are a little bit different. I want you to compare what we did up in letter C in number 1 and what you had to do in E. All right, notice we have a fraction up here in C, x over 3 minus 7. All right, we move the 7 first. You'll notice the difference between these bottom examples is that this time everything is on top of a number. All right, so if everything's on top of the number, we have to solve it a little bit different than we did above. Because the x plus 2 is together up top, I need to move this 3 on the bottom first. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 to get that out of there. I'm left with x plus 2 equals 18. All right, if I subtract 2 from both sides to free up my x, I'm left with x equals 16. All right, let's try another one of those. Here, we've tried to trick you, and we flipped the equation. Remember, our goal is to get the letter by itself, so I'm going to work with this right side first. I need to move the 2 first, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 so that it cancels on this side. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, and I'm left with y minus 1. Remember, our goal is to get the letter by itself, so I'm now going to move the 1 over to the other side. I'm left with negative 7 equals y. All right, so notice the difference between example 8 and what we did in the other examples up above. Those are two-step equations. Now we're going to do some practice in class and check to see how you did. Good work.